Hey guys, it's Adrian here, the Canadian in a t-shirt, and today I'll be breaking down a simple trick with your RRSP to reduce your tax bill from each paycheck and put more money in your pocket right away. This life hack is really easy to do, and I've been doing it for years, but most Canadians haven't even heard of it. It's called the T1213 Form. Basically, instead of waiting a whole year to receive your tax refund from the government, you'll receive that money right away, spread throughout each paycheck. That gives you more time to invest your money and let it grow. In this video, I'll go over the benefits of using your RRSP with this T1213 form. I'll show you exactly how to fill it out and submit it, and then I'll show you guys my personal example with my actual pay stubs to prove that it works. As always, I include timestamps for each chapter, so feel free to skip ahead. Make sure you watch my RRSP Explain videos to learn how the RRSP works, the rules to follow, tax deductions, withdrawals, and how to invest in your RRSP. But I'll give a super quick summary right now. The RRSP is a tax sheltered account designed to fund your retirement, and it offers two main benefits. One, it allows your investments to grow tax-free, which is very powerful. And two, it allows you to defer your taxes for years or decades until retirement. You're able to reduce the amount of taxes you pay now in your high income years and pay a much smaller tax bill when you retire and are in a lower tax bracket. Let's look at an example. I'll be using my personal example throughout this video to keep it simple, and at the end, I'll show you my pay stubs to see how it plays out. Let's say I make $77,000 a year in Ontario. That puts me in the second tax bracket for both federal and provincial taxes. In this tax bracket, my marginal tax rate is 29.65%. That's how much I get taxed on each additional dollar. So if I got a $1,000 bonus, I would pay 29.65% or $296 in taxes. Likewise, if I reduce my taxable income by contributing to my RRSP, I save 29.65% of that. So if I put in $7,000 into my RRSP, I save 29.65% of that for my tax bill. That saves me $2,075.50, and I'll receive this money as a tax refund, and I get this money next April when I file my tax return. That's great, and that's what most Canadians do. They contribute to their RRSP throughout the year, they continue to pay full taxes from their paycheck, and over a year later, in April or May, they receive a large check from the government. But there is a better way. We're overpaying our taxes with each paycheck, and we're letting the government hold onto our money for a whole year with no benefit to us. We're giving the government an interest-free loan with our money, and that's the benefit of the T1213 form. This form is the request to reduce tax deductions at source. That means that we will reduce the taxes we pay from each paycheck, putting more money in our pocket right away. So in my example, I contribute $7,000 to my RRSP, and instead of waiting a whole year to receive that $2,000 tax refund, I get an extra $80 from each paycheck for the whole year. It's the same amount of money, $80 times 26 paychecks, but I gain the benefit of time. That's my money, so now I get to use it right away to invest in my TFSA or RRSP, giving my money an extra 12 months to grow. Otherwise, the government holds onto it for a year, and I get no benefit. With this form, it's basically a promise I make to the government. I'm saying I promise to contribute $7,000 to my RRSP this year, so tax me at that lower taxable income. Again, I'm just using this $7,000 in my example, but you can enter any amount you want as long as it's within your available RRSP contribution room. And when you submit this form, you can still contribute more than $7,000 to your RRSP. If so, you'll receive a regular tax refund on the amount above the $7,000 you promised. It just helps to plan ahead, and if you know the minimum amount you'll put into your RRSP this year, then fill out this form to get your money sooner. Now let's see how to fill out this form. I'll include a link in the description box below, but you can download Form T1213 from the CRA website. It's a 2-page form, and it's easy to follow the instructions, but I'll go over the important sections here. First off, enter the year at the top, so 2023. Fill out your personal info and employer's info, and here you can request to reduce taxes on both your salary and additional lump sums, like a bonus. Most people don't know what their bonus will be ahead of time, so I just check off salary. This form isn't just for the RRSP, it's used to claim any tax deductions that you normally claim when you file your tax return. Things like childcare expenses, child support, medical bill, moving costs, or working in another province. Again, instead of waiting to claim these deductions at the end of the year, you'll get these tax savings right away. But in this video, I'm only talking about the RRSP, since it benefits all Canadians. So in line 1, we entered the RRSP contribution we promised to make this year. In my case, it was $7,000. This is important. Do not include any RRSP or RPP contributions that your employer already deducts from your paycheck. That includes employer matching RRSP amounts. Don't include those contributions because those tax deductions are already baked into your paycheck. You can't claim them twice. So in my case, this $7,000 amount is what I manually put into my RRSP investing account with QUESTRADE. And be reasonable here. You don't have to provide any evidence if you put in a reasonable RRSP amount, especially if you've been contributing to your RRSP for years. But if you promise to contribute $50,000 to your RRSP and you've never even made a contribution before, that's definitely a red flag. And you'll need to show them some proof, such as a monthly RRSP contribution plan. All of the other boxes are for other deductible expenses, so fill them out if they apply to you. I only care about the RRSP here. So on the second page, we confirm the final amount in box 12 and we sign. Note, for box 13, if you know ahead of time what your net business or net rental income will be for the year, then enter it. This will reduce your immediate tax savings, but you won't owe any taxes at the end of the year. If you can't predict your future business income, that's fine. Enter 0, but keep in mind you will owe business taxes at the end of the year, and you might have to start paying quarterly taxes depending on your situation. Now just sign the document and mail it to the address listed here. It will take them 4 to 6 weeks to process, and then they will send you their approval letter. Here's what it looks like. All you have to do now is give this form to your HR department or whoever handles your payroll, and they will adjust your paychecks effective immediately. On the second page, they give instructions for your payroll. Don't worry about that. Payroll will handle that. But you will see confirmation that my $7,000 RRSP contribution is accepted. And that's it. It's a really easy process, but I have to submit this form every year. Since it takes up to 6 weeks to process, they suggest mailing the T1213 form by November 1st. That will ensure that your payroll will be adjusted as soon as the new year hits. In my case, I was late by a few days. I only got approved on January 5th, 2020, so my first paycheck was fully taxed, and then the rest of my paychecks were taxed lower. Let's take a look. I already made a whole video on how to read a pay stub in Canada and what all these payroll deductions look like. I even used this exact pay stub as an example, so check that out. Since I was late with my T1213 form, this first paycheck was taxed fully. So notice my tax deduction was $609.06, and my overall net pay was $2,002.10. Now, 2 weeks later, my T1213 was processed and I handed my approval to HR. Let's see the change. As expected, the only thing that changed was the tax deducted. My salary was the same, CPP, EI, taxable benefits, all unchanged. The only difference is that my tax deduction reduced by $84.66, and so my net pay was increased by $84.66. That means that I get an extra $84 in my pocket every 2 weeks for the rest of the year. To me, that's much better than letting the government hold onto my money and pay me a lump sum of $2,000 a year from now. Let's go through the math to make sure it all checks out. Remember, I had a salary of $77,000 in Ontario, which puts me in the second tax bracket of 29.65%. So contributing $7,000 to my RRSP would save me $2,075 in taxes for the year. Normally, we would split this up by 26 paychecks, but in my case, I was late and I missed the first paycheck. So we divide my tax refund by 25 paychecks, giving us $83 in tax savings. My actual tax savings were $84. And that's because this form was processed between pay periods, so it was off by a few days. But I hope you get the point. All I had to do was plan ahead and commit to an RRSP amount to contribute. Then it took me 2 minutes to fill out a form and mail it to the government. Once I received their approval, I just dropped it off at HR, and there you go. I just bumped up my take-home pay by $84 every 2 weeks. It's so easy, and now I can invest that money and put it to work right away. And just as a reminder, the RRSP deadline is coming up on March 1st. That means that if you contribute to your RRSP before March 1st, you'll be able to claim that tax deduction for last year's income, meaning you'll earn yourself a tax refund in just a few months. And the deadline to file your tax return this year is May 1st. So check out my tutorial on how to file your own taxes in Canada, as well as the rest of my Canadian tax guide, my videos with the silver thumbnails. Thanks for watching, guys, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Every thumbs up and comment really does help me build this channel on YouTube, and hit that bell icon to be notified of my new videos. And if you'd like to follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Canadian T-shirt, click the link in the box below or click the links on my homepage. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of the Canadian in a T-shirt. Bye guys.